Under a COVID red alert, sleepovers, winery nights, travel. The governor explains how we got here.
Mask up. The new statewide mask mandate goes into effect in 1 hour. We'll tell you everything you need to know before you go out in public.
Working together. Northeast Ohio's leading medical institutions issue a statement about fighting the virus together. We talked to the head of the Cleveland Clinic about the message.
Listening, learning, working with the team. Indians owner Paul Dolan talks about a potential name change for the first time ahead of opening day.
Game changer. How weather actually impacts the game of baseball, from big hits and pitching to those crazy catches.
Going in every day knowing and hoping that 2021 is on the horizon keeps me going.
1 year away, the countdown to the 2021 Summer Olympics is on. We'll tell you how Simone Biles is training while staying safe. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and thanks so much for choosing What's New, this Thursday edition of What's New. A very good Thursday afternoon to you at home, and Betsy, to you as well. I'm Jay Crawford. We've got a busy show once again today.
We definitely have a busy show on this home opener eve. It is Thursday evening. There's a whole lot of good things happening, but it has also been a very busy news day. You know, in less than an hour, 6 o'clock, Ohio's statewide mask mandate will go into effect. That means masks must be worn at all times indoors if it's not a residence. Now, outdoors, when you're unable to maintain that 6 feet of social distance, well, that's when you're going to have to put those on. Now, there are a few exceptions. Kids under 10 are exempted, and so are those with health problems, those who are exercising, religious officiants, and those who are actively eating or drinking. Laura Queso listened in on the governor's daily briefing today and joins us with the very latest on this right now. And Laura, this is definitely one thing that a lot of people, I don't think they're going to have to change a lot of what they're doing. We're already doing that for the most part.
Exactly, Betsy. But there was a lot of new news, too. And I have to say, some looks promising, some really not so much. So stay with me. Let's get through this. Take a look first at this map. It's the governor's 4-level risk assessment. It shows which way each county in the state is trending. Well, new today, Summit and Lorain counties are trending better when it comes to cases. So those counties are now reduced to level 2, meaning increased exposure and spread. But while both counties have been downgraded, the governor warned they remain close to returning to level 3. That means significant risk. Speaking of level 3, too, Erie and Medina counties, they have been upgraded. Cuyahoga and Richland County also remain at level 3 in red. This means very high exposure and spread in those counties. You should also limit all activities as much as possible. And remember, regardless of your county's level at this point, you have to wear a mask while in public as of, like Betsy said, 6 p.m. tonight.
Again, we've got to wait, but we think that that is certainly the mask wearing is helping in those counties because we've seen that go up. We are cautious about this, though. These are still high levels of spread, Citizens across Ohio and these counties really need to continue to be vigilant in following the layers of protection that we continue to talk about.
Governor DeWine also talked about the arrest of House Speaker Larry Householder. He's called on Householder to resign and wants the process of finding a new speaker to start. But he didn't stop there.
While the policy, in my opinion, is good, the process by which it was created stinks. It's terrible. It's not acceptable. Therefore, I believe the policy, this whole policy issue must be revisited by the General Assembly. I asked the legislature to repeal and replace House Bill 6.
Governor DeWine says that's the only way the public will have full confidence in the policy that created the nuclear bailout. He says a repeal should happen very quickly, Betsy.
And remember, this is not just policy. This is dollars for consumers. Your first energy bill, your utility bill, it's like $1.50 a month that you're paying on this policy. So it is a big deal. It hits us all right in the pocket. Not a lot, but it's part of the deal, definitely.
Affects us all.
Something to pay attention to. Thanks so much for that, Laura. Well, let's get back to coronavirus. The cases reported today now total 1,444. That's down 83 from yesterday, but it's still high and continues pushing the average number of cases upward.
And Betsy, the other numbers are all heading in the wrong direction here. Our positivity rate today is up to 6.4%. That's up from 6.0 yesterday. But consider this, exactly 1 month ago, that positivity rate was standing firm at 4%. So over the course of a month, that is a huge jump from 4 to 6.4%. Hospitalizations, again, up very slightly. Only 8 more hospitalized patients in Ohio today than yesterday. But that is an increase, when you do the math going back a couple of weeks, that is an increase of over 200. So that, again, is significant. And Ohio is reporting 21 deaths. That is up from 5 yesterday when there were 16. Actually, we have that as 3, up 3 from yesterday. So, again, all these numbers, Betsy, going in the wrong direction. Now, let's move on to your Feed at 5. Believe it or not, there are a few positive things that have come out of this pandemic, at least regarding healthcare. We have seen unprecedented collaboration between our local health systems, and 7 of them put out a joint letter today letting people know they are ready to take care of them if they get sick. But they also want a little help. The open letter asks the public to wear masks, practice social distancing, wash their hands, all the stuff you've heard many times before. They're just coming together to say it all now collectively as a way to help monitor your health. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, has had an exclusive interview today with the head of those hospitals, many of those hospitals, the Cleveland Clinic president and CEO, Dr. Tom Mihaljevic. He says there is progress being made towards a vaccine, and it uses new technology to help the body fight the virus. This includes using fragments of the virus coding system to help create an immune response rather than an entire weakened virus.
What is really encouraging is that very many vaccine manufacturers and academic institutions are making a very rapid progress. So there is a reason for the optimism, but it has to be optimism that is associated with academic rigor, scientific rigor, and caution.
Now, he also confirmed what we reported yesterday, and this is significant. Developers have also started to produce the vaccine, and they're doing so in massive quantities, and they're doing this before it has been officially approved. Why, you might ask? Well, if it is approved, this way it is immediately ready for distribution just the second the FDA gives the green light. Betsy?
Well, another story that's been getting a lot of attention. President Trump is promising to move more federal officers into cities dealing with what he says is a spike in violent crime, and Cleveland is now on his list. And there are questions surrounding the expansion of the plan overall. What is now being called Operation Legend was named after a 4-year-old boy in Kansas City who was recently a shooting victim. Federal law enforcement officers are there now and will be moving into Chicago next. According to the White House, over the next 3 weeks, there are plans to further expand into Cleveland, Detroit, and Milwaukee. The president of Cleveland's NAACP is concerned about the impact of inviting additional agents into our area who have no ties here.
When they get to go back to wherever they're from, they don't have to care about the damage that's been done, the breakdown between the community and the law enforcement establishments that we're already working so hard to try and improve those relationships.
Well, the U.S. Attorney General says these are standard anti-criminal investigations they've done for decades, but will be adding federal agents to the task forces. Now, keep in mind, this is a different scenario than what we've been seeing in cities like Portland. They're having riots there, and they have sent in federal officers to literally defend against those riots.
All right, let's get a quick check of other headlines making news this Thursday. Laura Queso joins us from the newsroom for that. Hello again, Laura.
Hello again. All right, we start in Cuyahoga County, where members of an illegal drug smuggling ring at the county jail have pleaded guilty today. A former corrections officer and an inmate both pleading guilty to charges. Other suspects in the case are in various stages of the legal process, too. The investigation is still ongoing. A special prosecution section of the state attorney general's office is prosecuting that case. House Democrats say they plan to reject a Senate Republican coronavirus relief plan. Senate GOP leaders in the White House reached an agreement on a $1 trillion deal, including more than $100 billion for schools. Democratic leaders describe the plans as a partisan bill that requires more negotiation. A federal judge today ordered that President Trump confidant Michael Cohen be released from prison. Cohen's lawyers argued that he was wrongly sent back to prison as retaliation for writing a tell-all book about the president. He will instead be returned to home confinement. Cohen pleaded guilty 2 years ago to financial crimes and also lying to Congress about a bid to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. And boxing legend Mike Tyson will step back between the ropes just one more time. 15 years after his last fight, the 54-year-old will fight former world champ Roy Jones Jr. in an 8-round exhibition. That fight is scheduled for this September. Okay, so Jay, I had to track Roy Jones Jr. for a different show. I must have done it 10 times. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Roy Jones Jr.
I will say, though, this fight has a ton of intrigue. They were, once upon a time, the respective bests in their divisions. They never fought in the same division, but it's going to be fascinating to see what a couple of old guys like me can do now in their mid-50s. I'll be watching.
It's going to be good.
Laura, thanks. We'll see you soon.
Sure.
Well, developing in the NFL today, how about this story? The Washington Redskins are officially no more. Even though the team hasn't officially settled on its new name moving forward, it said today the Redskins are all gone. Until a new name is announced, they will be referred to as the Washington Football Team. So there you go, Bets.
Non-committal there, definitely. We know we're in Washington, but beyond that, we're not quite sure. All right, well, let's continue the talk about team name changes. Not that we could say much of anything either. Indians owner Paul Dolan made a public statement today about the future of his team's name. Will the Indians have a new name by next season? That's our interactive poll question. WKYC.com/vote. Now you can see people down there voting, and you may even see some of the little hearts and whatnot coming through. But anywho, in the meantime, let's head out to the Donovan farm. That's where Jimmy's been keeping an eye on all of this. And Jimmy, what did Mr. Dolan have to say today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Betsy, I give him this point, and that is that he has been very, very proactive about this issue. You might say he's been really out in front of this whole thing. It's been a busy week for Paul Dolan as the team gets ready to start this 60-game season tomorrow night. But on the other front, the front about the Indians' name, he's been very, very busy. Today he releases a statement, but even before that statement was released, remember, a couple of days ago, he met with manager Terry Francona and the entire Indians team. And coming out of that meeting, which was an open forum discussion, no opinion is a bad opinion. We want to know what you're feeling. The players came out of that, and Dolan was impressed that the players do definitely care about the organization and the way they're received in the public. And they also feel strongly about social justice and racial equality. So it sounds like everything is very wide open right now. Nothing official on the name change, nor on any time element of when a name change would come. So his statement in part that he released today goes like this. He said, "We will engage Native American leaders to better understand their perspectives, meet with local civic leaders, and continue to listen to the perceptions of our players, fans, partners, and employees." Indians owner Paul Dolan. Betsy, here's the key on this. It took decades and decades for the Indians to really all of a sudden put Chief Wahoo in the closet and put it away, but they are being much quicker on this issue. Now, maybe that's because things are much more sensitive, and I think that is the case out in society right now about nicknames of teams, and certainly the story that Jay just read before we came on about the Redskins no longer, and the Washington Football Club. But I think what Paul Dolan is doing, he's throwing a wide net over this thing. This is going to be quite a project. Civic leaders, Native Americans, his players, and most importantly, shareholders in the team and sponsorship, because when the Redskins lost sponsorship and corporate money, that's when really they got pushed to the brink and had to do something about changing the name of Washington Redskins. If you start losing money, I think that's when it's a real problem, and the Indians can ill afford to lose any kind of money, sponsorship or anything like that, and especially considering the kind of economic year they're going to have this year.
Right, and the Dolans have said flat out, we are not leaving Cleveland. We're all in on Cleveland and committed to Cleveland, so much so that when the idea of the MLB All-Star Game was floated out by MLB, that's really when this whole Indians thing kind of came to a head. And do you think this is kind of an outcropping of that conversation between Mr. Manfred and Mr. Dolan?
Yeah, I really do. That's a very good point. I think it really goes back to even that World Series against the Chicago Cubs. The commissioner of baseball was so impressed with the history of the two teams in that World Series, the Cubs and the Indians, and the long drought of championships in both organizations, that it was charming and it played well and it really brought baseball back in a very, very good picture of things because it was fading. People were bored. Young people weren't into it. They thought the game was too slow, and they really saw some great things there. But I think all of a sudden that All-Star game really kind of pushed Chief Wahoo into the closet, and I think it's just continuing now with that nickname of Indians.
Huge economic impact here in Cleveland. We're grateful it did come here, so we'll see how this story continues out. Jimmy, I'm going to tell you this. Don't go far from a television, because next up, he doesn't know this, but I have a little surprise for Jay. That's inspired by this video that he tweeted out of him pitching recently. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that's a hanging curveball.
You look a little worried right now.
I don't know where you're going with this. Also, later, an Ohio Sheriff's Department's response to the state mask mandate that's sounding like a familiar refrain from police. And Matt's forecast is straight ahead.
Oh, in the spirit of opening day, I'm going to embarrass my co-host just a little bit. I don't know I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to give you a little shout out, actually. I was kind of impressed thumbing through Twitter on Sunday. A lot of you may not know Jay loves baseball, and he still plays in a league.
I do.
And over the weekend, Jay tweeted out this video of him pitching. He threw that curveball in 95-degree heat. He said, I'm exhausted. I think that is super impressive. Now, of course, I was so impressed, I decided I had to call in the big dogs. So I called my good friend, voice of the Indians, Tom Hamilton, to give us a few calls on your pitch.
What?
Take a listen.
Watch this Jay Crawford curveball. We went from summer to autumn before it got to home plate. Jay Crawford, actually older than Uncle Charlie, snaps off a beauty. The ageless wonder Jay Crawford into the windup, the pitch, and a swing and a miss. Got him with a curveball.
Okay, that's like the highlight of my whole life right there, Betsy.
I know, right?
Anybody that knows me knows that I hold Tom Hamilton in the absolute highest regard. He's the best play-by-play man that baseball has ever seen, in
I know
my view.
somebody that you hold on part of that, and that would be Indians manager Terry Francona, who also took a look at the video.
Oh, gosh,
Tito?
No.
Reaching out to you on a couple things. One, have a tremendous amount of respect for you as a sportscaster. I mean, tremendous.
Where's this going?
And when you handled the Cleveland Sports Banquet a couple years ago, the way you handled it was flawless. And I just had so much enjoyment and respect. Then when I saw the video of you pitching, I was trying to figure out if that was a curveball or an eephus pitch. And I guess my first thought would be stick to sportscasting. I was told to give you a hard time, so I am. I hope you're well, man. I hope I see you soon, okay? See you, Jake.
Yeah, and then listen, that's all fair because in reality, the video was super. My son did it, and I don't even know how he did it, but when he records
He gave me 2 more videos, so thank you, Corey.
He super slow-mo'd it, and it did look like it was a very slow pitch. In reality, I'd like to think it had a little more velocity than what it looked like.
Well, for those of you who don't know, an eephus pitch is also known as a junk pitch.
It is.
Literally, that's the definition.
It's a trick pitch.
It's fantastic.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Because in terms of baseball, it's Tito and Tom Hamilton, and that's it.
I couldn't resist. I was very impressed, but I also couldn't let you get by without shouting out your own tweet of your own pitch.
Well played, Betsy. Well played. I was exhausted. I went the distance, for crying out loud, and it was 95 degrees. It
was. I was impressed you made it out there, and you didn't have like a water bottle or anything with you. Very impressive.
Yeah, oh well. Geez, I feel like curveball should be Matt's word, but we already went with this, so we're going to go with maximize. Like maximize your God-given talents. Yeah, maximize. That's your word for the day.
Clearly you were doing that, Jay. Absolutely. All right, we'll maximize that here in the forecast. All right, guys, well, we'll transition because obviously we have the big baseball game tomorrow, opening day, a little bit later than we expected this year, but that's okay. This is more than likely going to be the warmest open day we've ever had. Bob Brooks wrote me in and asked, hey, does this look like the warmest? 76 was the warmest I could find, and 72 and 92. So I think tomorrow, with temperatures in the 80s, we will have the warmest opening day, as expected, in late July, right? We have some hit or miss showers and thunderstorms, as we were expecting today. You can see some of those have put down some very heavy rain areas of Richland County near Mansfield, little spot there in southern Ashtabula County, but there's also spots that have not seen any rain. We're seeing pretty good downpours right now over Vienna and Trumbull County. That continues to head out towards the PA border. A couple hit or miss showers near Hudson. Those will head into Streetsboro here shortly. Stowe back towards Cuyahoga Falls and just north of the Akron area seeing some rain. And then out towards the west, just a couple meandering downpours out just west of Willard there. And you can see Mansfield down towards Belleville along I-71 seeing some downpours as well. All this is starting to clear on out. It's going to take its time, though. Fronts don't clear quickly this time of year. You can see that drier air off to the north trying to work its way in. So we will see improving conditions hour by hour. In fact, we've got dew points now in the 70s. It's still tropical, but watch what happens overnight. It's not a quick hit of dry air. It's going to be a slow drying out. It's like if you were to, let's say, wash your clothes and then put them outside in an air mass like this and expect them to dry. It's going to be a very slow process, and that's where we'll be. In terms of the muggy meter, we're going to stay in that humid category, but not quite as thick as where we are over the course of the weekend. You notice that bump on Monday. That's with our next real chance of showers and storms. So National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Let's talk about when this rain gets out of here. You can see the hit-or-miss showers and thunderstorms coming to an end tonight. Likely areas of fog overnight. Tomorrow looks good. Models continue to indicate perhaps an isolated shower. We're going to stay with partly cloudy skies. Beautiful for that first pitch. But we need the rainfall. The new drought monitor's out today. We now have drought in Ohio. It's in the moderate category, so we could use the rain. So our next chance of rain, Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast after the weekend heat arrives on Monday, and then a cooler week ahead as we go into next week. We'll be back with Clicking in Cleveland up next.
All right, everybody, it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland other than Jay's pitching. Of course, we want to bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, for that. Hi, Stephanie. What's clicking in Cleveland?
Hi, Betsy. Well, Jay's pitching, very impressive, but we have some other things we're talking about today. There's still a lot of confusion about that mask mandate and who will enforce it. And a Southwest Ohio Sheriff's Office is telling people who not to call. This is in Darke County. That's on the Ohio-Indiana border, which is just outside of Dayton. The Sheriff's Office posted on Facebook, "We are not the mask police. Please do not call us or 911 reporting someone not wearing a mask." Then they got a little bit sassy and they said, "Come on, people, a little common sense goes a long way." Here in Cleveland, though, there's no question about who to call. If you want to report a business, you can call Cleveland's Department of Health hotline. That's at 216-857-7165. Or if you would like to report an individual, you can call the Cleveland Police non-emergency line at 216-621-1234. By the way, here in Cleveland, you can be fined if you don't wear your mask in public, so keep that in mind. Now, while you have questions about that, we've been asking you, will the Cleveland baseball team change their name by next season? So the options are up there at WKYC.com/vote now. Make sure you weigh in. We've also been asking you to share your Cleveland baseball pride because opening day is tomorrow. So we got these submissions in on our Near Me feature on the WKYC app. That cute pup is Kobe with Scott Orwig. That's at Puppy Palooza at Progressive Field. Sent in by Nicole Ferriani Orwig of Fairview Park. That's her there with her husband Scott, enjoying a nice time at a game. Now, back to our poll. As you can see right now, most people are saying yes, they do expect Cleveland to change its name by next year, but won't change is not far behind. You can keep weighing in at WKYC.com vote now. And we know that opening day is tomorrow. We've got a great special for you tomorrow here on What's New. And if you want to know everything about opening day festivities, just text the word tribe to 216-344-3300. We'll send you a link so you can see everything that's coming up tomorrow. It's going to be a great day, Betsy.
All right. Thanks a lot, Stephanie. Well, we're going to keep on rolling here. The Summer Olympics are now a year away. Ohio native Simone Biles tells us how she's preparing while protecting herself from COVID-19. She also opens up about how she deals with racism on the world stage. Plus, could the warmer weather mean more home runs for the Indians players? We're going to break it all down for you.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back to What's New on this muggy Thursday, summertime day. It felt like deep August to me today, being outside.
Close.
Yeah.
Thick.
That very thick, heavy air.
Yes, unfortunately. Well, I'll tell everybody, here we are at the bottom of the hour. We do have some good to start this part of the show with, of course. And Jay, you like the Jersey Shore by chance?
You know,
Not
I lived in Jersey. No, but I went down the Jersey Shore for vacation a lot. Beautiful place.
It is. And there's some good people that are there because we would like to introduce you to two people, Aaron and Amy McCoy. They're brother and sister. And when they were running along the beach this week, they heard a cry for help out in the water. Somebody was drowning and there was no lifeguard on duty. So Aaron grabbed a nearby boogie board, jumped in to help save the man in trouble, while Amy, his sister, called 911. Firefighters then came to make sure everyone was okay, and they were, thankfully, because of some quick thinking and heroism.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Spring into action. I'm glad there are people like that because you never know. When you're out on the beach, you get an undertow, you get the wrong wave takes someone, and we need heroes like that. Good news, for sure.
Yeah.
Our top talker this day, the postponed yet still up in the air 2020 Summer Olympics. The countdown clock in Tokyo is ticking away. There it is, 365 days away. 1 year from right now. Last year at this time, 365 days away. It was much more festive and glitzy. That was, of course, before COVID and before any of us had any idea of what we would be in for. Certainly a much more subdued feeling in the air now. For some of the athletes, though, it's full steam ahead, just in case the games happen. That's the way gold medal winning gymnast Simone Biles is taking a look at all of this. She says training has been different for sure. Team USA Gymnastics are staggering workouts. That way everyone can get practice in at training facilities. Every time I see that video, it's just amazing to me that a human can do that.
Right.
Lots of cleaning, of course, going on for everyone, wearing masks, coming and going. But in our current climate for Biles, she also acknowledges a different kind of challenge, the importance of being a black athlete and dealing with racism on the world stage.
I was on a world scene, and what made the news was another gymnast saying that if we painted our skin black, maybe we would all win, because I had beat her out of a B medal and she got upset. And that was really the news rather than me winning worlds. So other than that, it happens every day. And I feel like every black athlete or colored athlete could say that they've experienced it through their career, but we just have to keep going for those little ones looking up to us.
And you know, Betsy, it's particularly difficult in sports that have judges. You know, if it's the 100-meter dash or the long jump, the tape measure never lies, nor does the stopwatch. But when these events are judged, you now bring in the human element. And for what it's worth, I'm not a gymnastics judge. But when you watch her perform, to me, she is head and shoulders better than anybody else in the events. She's just that good. And it really is a shame that she has to deal with that. It really is.
I mean, it's prevalent across all sports, all platforms, and that's why things need to change, and that's why things are changing, and we just have to make sure as allies that we keep pushing that forward. I think it's important.
Very good.
All right, well, let's talk about the Indians again, you know, and kind of. We're going to talk about the weather and the Indians, two of my favorite things. This season, the Indians won't be playing as many games as usual, but because their season is starting in the warmer months, the players don't have to endure sluggish, cold starts, and we may see some stats start to change. Meteorologist Jason Fraser shows us how the weather affects the game.
We've waited months to see Major League Baseball return, and soon we will finally get our wish. Besides looking at their playbooks, players and coaches are looking at Mother Nature.
I look at the weather every day.
Weather impacts almost every aspect of baseball, from the crazy catches to the amazing home runs.
Higher temperatures, the further the ball is going to go, the more home runs that we're going to see.
Humidity is the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. While the humidity may make you sweat more, it's good for the baseball. They tend to travel farther when there's more humidity.
The colder months in March, you know, you might play your outfield in a little bit because you know the ball's not going to carry as much.
While the cooler temperatures may not be as comfortable for the fans and players, it does help the pitchers because the air is more dense.
A pitcher, for instance, if they're really adept at those breaking balls, curveballs, and sliders, they're going to want that denser, heavier air because it's going to allow the ball to move and spin a little bit more than the drier air.
Players are also impacted by the clouds, and not because of the rain, but the color of the ball and the clouds. Sometimes they're the same color.
It affects your depth perception. And so that depth perception can also influence being able to effectively catch or retrieve the ball.
But clear sunny skies aren't always a player's preference.
The sun's just kind of beating down on you. A lot of these summer teams, they're playing, you know, in this really hot, humid weather, and sometimes they're playing on these fields that are really nice. They're turf. You know, and the turf makes it even hotter.
And while the wind can cool off the field for players, it can cause issues for balls hitting the foul line. Despite some of the curved balls Mother Nature can throw, we are all looking forward to two words we've been waiting all winter for: play ball.
I'm looking forward to the Indians playing.
In Cleveland, Jason Fraser, 3 News.
Well, you know, Jay, now that we know your pitching prowess.
Yeah, of course.
As a baller yourself.
Yeah.
What is your take on the whole weather v baseball?
She was absolutely right. When you're pitching and you throw anything that moves, whether it's a cutter or a slider, a curveball, even a knuckleball, that humidity absolutely helps the ball move through the air. Yep. So I love pitching in hot weather and high humidity.
Wind actually has the
Great.
biggest noticeable impact on the flight of the ball once it's hit.
No question.
It can push it.
Yep,
So
no
that's a
question.
big deal. Certainly, it's going to be calm tomorrow. Don't worry, no problems. Are you a Taylor Swift fan by chance, Jay?
My daughter's a huge Taylor Swift
Well,
fan.
Swifties are very excited right now. It's just about 6 hours away from her new album dropping. We have all the details on the surprise announcement and what to expect when it does ahead in Pop Break.
And Matt, we finally got some rain.
Oh, Jay, it is so humid outside. It is just thick, and it's cloudy as well across the majority of northeast Ohio. We even have a couple thunderstorms. When do we clear this stuff out? That's the big question. And what does that weekend look like? We've got the details coming up.
Oh, Swifties, tonight is the night. Taylor Swift will drop her surprise album. Plus, Demi Lovato is engaged. Stephanie Haney has it all in your Daily Pop Break.
Taylor Swift surprised fans with launching a brand new album tonight. She broke the news on Instagram this morning, sharing a series of pictures and artwork announcing her 8th studio album, Folklore, debuting at midnight. T Swift is also dropping a music video for her new song, Cardigan, which she says was filmed with safe distancing protocols in place. And fans who actually buy a hard copy get a bonus track called The Lakes. Harry Styles is sharing an emotional tribute with fans to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of UK boy band and pop sensation One Direction. Harry, his former bandmates, and their many, many fans have been posting their favorite 1D memories on Twitter all day, with Harry writing, "I've been struggling to put into words how grateful I am for everything that's happened over the last 10 years. I've seen things and places that I'd only ever dreamt of when I was growing up." The Watermelon Sugar singer also thanked the rest of the band for the years of memories and love. And Demi Lovato is engaged. The star posted pics this morning announcing her whirlwind engagement to the Young and the Restless actor Max Eric. The confident singer is clearly overjoyed, writing, "I knew I loved you the moment I met you. I'm ecstatic to start a family and a life with you. I love you forever, my baby." Demi called Max her soulmate, with the photo showing the massive diamond he gave her to seal the deal. Congratulations to these two lovebirds.
Now
Now what you really want to know about, the details on that massive rock. It's a 3-stone ring, and the main center stone is emerald cut, and experts say it could be up to 10 carats set in platinum and possibly a Harry Winston setting. Jay and Betsy, do you have any guesses on how much that price tag is?
I'm going at least $150 minimum. That's I'm starting there.
Okay.
I'm assuming this
Price
is
is
VS
right
quality.
rules. Betsy, do you have a
One,
guess?
clarity, whatever color,
Oh,
yada,
the best
yada.
money can buy bets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with probably $2 million.
Okay. Betsy, we need a judgment call here because it could be $1 million, but if it's actually a Harry Winston, it could be $3 million. That's according to experts. So I think Betsy's a little bit closer on this one. I think we got to give this one to Betsy.
Yeah,
Right.
I definitely
It's a nice
give that to
stone.
Betsy.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's right over the plate?
Yeah, Betsy, $3 million. Let's just
Straight-
talk about that
straight
for a
down the
second.
lane.
For a ring.
I mean, these Hollywood kids don't exactly have the best track record of staying together, if you know what I
Ain't that
mean.
the truth? Yep.
It's a lot of coin.
Well,
It is.
apparently Young and the Restless is paying very well.
That's another good point.
I guess so.
Man.
All right,
Thanks,
Steph.
Steph.
Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. $3 million.
I know. That is a fur poke from Channel 3 weather staff, I think, unfortunately.
Bets, I sold my motorcycle and spent $500 on my wife's engagement ring.
That's very sweet.
But she knew it meant a lot to me.
Right?
That was it, man.
That's awesome. Well, let's turn things over to Matt now. Matt? That's not awkward at all.
Yeah, before we start asking how much we all spend on yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, my wife bought hers. I'm still paying her back. We're on monthly payments, so that's totally fine. So
There
we're
he
talking
is.
about the wedding ring, honey. Yeah, all right. I still owe you about $200, so we'll go from there. All right, let's quickly transition into weather to maximize our time together, since I forgot the word of the day earlier. Oh, shame on me. I'm getting older. The U.S. Drought Monitor gets released on Thursdays. Look how much of the country is in drought right now. We could certainly use the rainfall. As we get into this time of year, the monsoon moisture, we get the moisture out of the Gulf and tropical systems. This will help alleviate some of that. But on a local scale, we've now introduced moderate drought across portions of our viewing area, Erie, Huron County, down towards Medina County, northern Richland County. That stretches west back towards Toledo. That's the driest part of the state. The good news today, we did get some decent downpours in that area. This is the accumulated rainfall throughout the day today, but still not enough of a good thing. This is going to take a couple good soakings to get out of, which usually we overcome. That's the good news. But the rain is heading on out. There's still a couple downpours out there. This boundary continues to sink south. It is a very slow mover, especially this time of year. You don't get these sweeping cold fronts that clear us out. So Ravenna, prepare for another downpour there. Another one heading over towards Palmyra, out towards the east. And the Akron and Cuyahoga Falls area, not seeing much right now other than some light to moderate rain. All of this will kind of pulse up and down throughout the evening, but really nothing much of consequence and absolutely no severe weather from this. That area low pressure will continue to sink south. It's bringing in drier air from the north. You can see the little lines there bringing that wind out of the north as you go from here up towards Canada. Temperatures held down by the clouds. We're in the 70s to near 80 degrees. It should be a nice evening temperature-wise, but you've got this. This is the humidity which continues to lay on thick with dew points in the 70s. As we go through the overnight, we'll slowly start to dry things out. And over the next couple days, it's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to be better than where we've been the last 2 days. Your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast clears us out tonight. Friday looks good. I think we'll see sunshine. We'll see partly cloudy skies with that lingering moisture. Isolated showers, says our model. We're not buying it. We're going to go dry at this point. The Tribe home opener looks great here on Channel 3. And I'll tell you what, that will carry into the weekend. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. It heats up this weekend, but we'll be dry Saturday and Sunday. Our next real good chance of rain arrives on Monday with some showers and storms. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. We do have some breaking news to tell you about right now. President Donald Trump has just canceled the Jacksonville portion of the Republican National Convention. He made the move because of a spike in coronavirus cases there. The president will still give a convention speech, but the format is going to have some time to be worked out. Much more tonight on What Matters Most at 6. Coming up next for us, get ready for a throwdown. I still have the leg lamp. It has looked so good on my desk this week. It is a nice glow there, but we're going to be testing baseball knowledge, so chances are I'm not going to fare very well.
I was robbed.
And later, baby tiger video that is worth the watch. We're also going to tell you why this particular tiger's birth is so important. Are we nerds or
Mine's
what?
a little more of a bell, wouldn't you say? And yours is more of an electronic sound?
Mine is a tone.
Yours is a tone. Very well.
We should put a microphone on that thing for this. Like we have 18 million of them out there. Oh, this is crafty. Oh yeah, it's the day we've been waiting for, the Indians home opener. And 3 News is your spot to watch it. We're gonna preview the season at 5 o'clock with a special called Tribe Time Opening Day. That's followed by What Matters Most at 6, and then the game coverage starts at 7. This season's gonna look a lot different, but people are getting excited. As a matter of fact, we got a message on our Facebook page from Kathy Roos, who said, OMG, really, is it true? Your station is actually going to show the game on regular TV.
Oh, it's true.
This is great, especially since everyone is staying in. Thank you. We can't afford cable. So, Kathy, you are welcome. Everybody, you are welcome. We are so excited to bring.
We've got your back, Kath. No doubt about it.
Awesome.
I don't normally make predictions on baseball games because it's very hard. The Indians are going to win tomorrow 7-1.
Wow.
I'm going to write that down, 7-1.
I'm just going to go with partly cloudy, mostly sunny skies.
That's fair. You're probably going to be more correct than me. Since there are so many new rules, here's what we're going to do for Throwdown Thursday. Matt Wintz is back. He's going to test our knowledge on the changes that Major League Baseball has made, and a lot of rules changes. So just like every Throwdown Thursday, we're going to get a number of questions. The winner gets the leg lamp. Betsy is the proud owner of it right now. Here's our tones. Betsy's noted hers is more of a tone, and mine's more of a bell. So, Matt, take it away.
Yeah, guys, hold on. The mailman's here. I heard a door. Oh, wait. Okay, no, that's not it. All right.
Dogs are barking
number 1,
everywhere.
Here we go. If a game goes into extra innings, which base will the runner start on?
Ooh, Betsy got me on that one.
Second base.
Yeah, she's right.
Betsy, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Plus
Ding,
1
ding, ding.
tinkling.
Good job.
She was just.
right,
I
so
thought
we
we had
got
to wait
Betsy
until the
1,
question
Jay
was
0.
fully read.
I knew what the
That's
answer
why
was.
I lost a point
It wasn't
last
multiple
week.
choice.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
With the delay, it's going to be a little bit longer. Let me know when you're done. Okay. All right. Pitchers will not be allowed to lick their fingers. We know that this year. So what will they be given to keep their fingers? Go ahead.
I know it. It's a wet rag in their pocket.
This is the fix is in.
No.
He didn't even finish the question.
There's only like 6 rule changes. If you don't know them, I mean, it's not like it's totally random.
Okay, go ahead. I got to sweep here.
All right. I'm scrolling down to the tougher ones. Here we go. This season will be the shortest season since what year? A, 1878, B, 1900, or C, 1910?
I've got to do this because I've got to get them all right. I'm going to say A. It was 18 something or other since they played a season so short.
Ooh, Jay, you're absolutely right. Good guess.
Yes.
Whoa, well done. Well done.
Done. Okay. Do we have 2 more?
Betsy 2, Jay 1. Here we go. Yeah, 2 more. How many games will be played this season?
Oh, that's easy.
A.
I got you.
Go ahead.
60.
Oh, you are absolutely right, Jay.
Uh-oh. So this is it. It all comes down to the last question.
We are down. This is it. It's 2-2. Absolutely. All right. You guys ready? Here we go. How often will players and coaches be tested for COVID-19?
Every other day.
Jay.
And not every day. Every other day.
Every other day. Final answer?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Every other day?
You're absolutely right. Jay gets the leg lamp.
Boom.
Yes.
I had to come from way downtown to get that one done.
I know you're impressed by my baseball knowledge, though.
I am, actually. I mean, I was very scared there for a second. I thought she was going to get to keep the leg lamp.
It's the 3rd time you've been sweating in this show. It's fantastic.
You like to see me sweat, don't you?
I do.
Matt, thank you. Those were great questions. Thank you very much. That lamp is going to look so good on my desk.
Oh, I know.
It looks so very good on
Look,
my
I even have a wipe for it.
All right, very good. You knew it was going to be changing hands, didn't you? Next week, we have to go into Betsy's wheelhouse. This was a little unfair.
Yeah.
Just a little. Okay,
yeah, we
coming
need to
up
do
next,
atmospheric science questions.
Yeah, well, that one she's got me on that one.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, we wrap it up with our Worth the Watch. Wait until will you look at that? This is such a rare tiger. You're not going to believe how few of these are left on our planet. What a beautiful animal. My goodness.
And also coming up at 6 on What Matters Most, the head of the Cleveland Clinic tells us one major silver lining to the coronavirus pandemic. socially distance and I'll come over.
Okay. Betsy and I are talking about how we're going to watch the Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson fight. Everybody's invited.
Yes.
Okay, it's our Worth the Watch. It takes us to Eastern Europe. Get ready for the cute factor to just be through the roof. A zoo in Poland is celebrating the birth of a female Sumatran tiger. Is that how you say it, Betsy?
Yes.
Sumatran tiger. This is a big deal. The cute little girl is the first member of the critically endangered species born in 20 years in this part of the world. She was born in May, but only became public this week. This species is so endangered, Betsy, fewer than 500 are left living in the wild. Would you look at that animal?
So beautiful. And totally acting like a toddler.
Yeah, exactly.
Mom,
Terrible twos.
How fun is that on Zoom calls, everybody? Super timing by the kids, certainly.
We're out of time. We invite you to join us tomorrow for another edition of What's New. It's Friday.
It is going to be Friday to our home opener Friday. At that, we have our big tribe special we'll be bringing you at 5. Right now, though, it's 6 o'clock, and that means Russ and Laura have